Howdy y'all, it's C.Raven with another Thoughts with Raven episode. I lost count. This is about a haunted house, and they kind of asked for opinions, and I wanted to give mine. So I hope y'all enjoy the story. And if you'd like to leave opinions, just leave it in the comment and help this reader out. On June 11th, 2023 is the day everything changed. This has been going on and happening for 8 months to a year, but that one day everything changed, and I became a true believer and understood more of what was happening. In the beginning, it was just some slight shaking of the bed, and it progressed to bed shaking, and then someone or something would be stepping or walking on my bed, and that went on for about 8 months. And at first, I truly thought it was my cat at the time or even my dog. One time it happened and I heard my dog in the hallway drinking her water. Right away, I got chills. From that point on, I would lock my dog in my bedroom when I slept to somehow make me feel safe. But like I said, more recently it all changed, and this is how. So I went to bed as normal, and I thought, well, if this is my mind playing tricks on me or something else, I want to know. So I just laid there in bed, arms wide out and legs spread out over the bed like I would be making a snow angel. And what happened next was unbelievable. Someone, yes, someone laid down next to me on my left side and held me. I could feel their arm resting on my chest. And then someone was rubbing my inner thigh and randomly grabbing my leg. I could feel a finger and a full hand moving up and down my leg. It took a while, but I did fall asleep, and when I woke up, it felt like I had 2 little kids on each arm cuddling with me, and someone else was laying at the feet across my legs. When I started to move, I could feel the little kids or someone raising off of me slightly. When I stopped moving, they would lay back down and lay their arm on my chest, and I could feel their little fingers touching me. I wasn't afraid, I was amazed and overwhelmed with disbelief. But from that day on, I went to bed that way. Arms and legs spread out every night. They would lay with me. I don't want it to get worse in any way, so I try not to engage too much with them, but last night, June 14th, I asked the one that always sleeps on my left side, maybe the older child, to touch my back with their fingers. And it happened. Then I asked, tap my back, and it happened again. The hardest thing isn't dealing with them sleeping with me. Falling asleep is becoming the hardest thing. I'm so intrigued, I almost enjoy laying there with them, and hours pass by. For some reason, when they like touching my chest and rubbing my head, and sometimes I can feel them touch my lips and cheeks. If it never gets worse, they can stay. But when things start moving and doors start opening, then I think it's time to look into options to help them pass over. But for the life of me, I can't seem to understand why they attract themselves to me, or who they are. It's very hard to find out if someone passed away in my house. And if that's the case, then it makes more sense. But to attract to a random person like me is hard to comprehend. One thing is, it doesn't matter what time I lay down in bed. It could be a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning. It always happens. I've mentioned this to a few people, and they don't believe me. I'm hoping to find someone to come experience this for themselves, so I know I'm not crazy. On June 16th, I laid down after work around 5 a.m., and something different happened. The first thing was the little spirit that lays on my right side starts to physically touch my face and starts playing with my facial hair. And it felt like the time when my son was younger and my son would play with my ear until he fell asleep. And that's what the little one did. The little fingers start to touch and play with my facial hair, and then would slow stop as if he or she was falling asleep. If I moved, it would continue. The hand felt very small, like a 4 to 5 year old. The next thing that happened is very hard to explain. It felt like the feeling when your hand or your arm falls asleep with the tingling, but way more he or she was falling asleep, but way more intense. It started with a hand and finger touching and holding me tight. Then it started to climb up my body to my face. And I could feel the tingling moving up and down, and it would move up until I got to my head. I felt two hands, one on each side of my head, like it was coming down to my face for a kiss or something. Sounds crazy, but that's how it felt. I only stayed there a few seconds and started going back. And it started to go back down, tingling started to reside down. It was a rush, and I didn't know what to do, so I just laid there and did nothing. And it wasn't scary, just confusing. I still don't understand why these spirits chose themselves to attach to me or who they are. It's been a while since I've added anything new, but I wanted to update with everything that was happening. So I know I'm most likely dealing with a succubus. And I know I'm dealing with something else also. So like before, I'm being touched when trying to sleep. But for the last month or so, something else has started to mess with me. And now I know this is as crazy as saying something is touching me sexually when I sleep. So one day I felt something when I was driving, so I asked, "Are you here?" For some weird reason, I can feel her moving or shaking her head yes or no. And she moved her head saying yes to my question. So now I know I have a spirit attached to me, and it's a she. I can ask her yes and no questions and she will answer. I can't hear her talk to me, but I can feel her breathing on me. So she follows me to work. I can feel her rubbing my back when I'm sitting down, and I'm always thinking of questions to ask. That's yes or no answer. I'm not 100% sure, but from asking and her answering, I believe she's early 30s. And after asking about what's going on in my house and my bed, she says they are bad. And when they show up, she hides at the top of my bed by my pillows every time. The other things in my bed are definitely different. And when they come, I can feel their power or energy. I feel always one on my side, my left, and one on my right. And the one comes up the bed from my feet. But the ones that come up from my feet is something powerful. I can move my leg and instantly causes chills when it starts to come out, and it creeps, slowly touching and rubbing me the whole way. Sometimes it feels like the blankets are completely moving and being lifted up. I still haven't caught anything on video, and I'm hoping a thermo camera will show something. So I've asked, I'll call her Stephanie, "Are you the same as the one that comes from the end of my bed?" She shakes her head no. I ask, "Are they evil?" She shakes her head yes. I've asked Stephanie a few times, "Are you here to hurt me?" No. "Will you ever hurt me?" No. "Did you pick me? Is that why you're attached to me?" Yes. "Are you older than me?" No. So I feel like I'm getting straight answers. I can tell the difference between yes and no. And when she moves her head, Stephanie says she likes to lay with me and likes being around me. I don't know if this is something bad, but I haven't felt or had anything bad happen to me unlike the things in my bed. So the things in my bed, not Stephanie, started again randomly. And when it first came, Stephanie right away, like she said she did, she hid. And the feeling I got from whatever was coming from the end of my bed was paralyzing. Not in so much fear, like in the amount of energy it had. I could feel it, like right away, as it touched my leg. It would start to get very cold. Which is why I believe a thermo camera is my best bet at catching whatever succubus is in my bed. One night I was being sat on, my eyes are always covered, and I felt whatever it was lean over towards my face, and it started to stare at me. I don't know how to explain it, but I can feel them moving, if that makes sense. I felt it lean closer, and I knew its face was right in front of mine, so I took a calm breath and eventually sat back up on me, but I could feel my body getting cold where I was being sat on. When Stephanie lays down next to me, I always say put your leg over mine, and it always warms me up. And the heat from her sometimes gets intense to the point I need to uncover, but I know her heat signature would show on a thermal camera. I'm working on getting one to prove what's happening to me, and it really is happening. I'm not crazy. To be honest, Stephanie doesn't bother me. In fact, sometimes it's nice knowing she is there, not really looking after me, but it's a weird feeling. And then I'm okay with it. I still don't know how to get whatever is in my bed out of there. I'm getting to start pushing the issue and contact a priest or someone who can help. I still have a hard time falling asleep. It isn't Stephanie, it's whatever it is that comes when I go to bed. But it's definitely scared me, and I'm at a loss of words. So I asked the spirit that's attached to me, "What's your name?" And I started going one letter at a time until she nodded yes. And the name was Bianca. That was a few weeks ago, and I asked her a few times, "So your name is Bianca?" And she nods yes. So yesterday, September 8th, I decided to ask, "Do you know when I'm going to die?" She nodded yes. I asked, "Is it more than 5 years?" She nodded no. Then I asked within a year, and she nodded yes. I was shocked, so I said again, "I'm going to die less than a year from now." And I decided to ask, "Do you know when I'm going?" And she nodded again yes. After asking a bunch of questions, she nodded yes to one. And what I've came up with was between January and May, I'm going to get robbed by someone and I'm going to be killed. I'm completely lost. And it really got me thinking, if this is true, what would I do? So last night, I don't know if I believe it or not, but here's what happened. I got home around 4:30 a.m. and laid down around 5:30 a.m. Within 10 minutes of laying there, I felt someone laying down beside me. I asked Bianca if it was her. She shook her head no. I asked if it was a man. She nodded yes. Right away, I was thinking no one has ever just laid down next to me. So I asked her to ask what his last name was, and it was DeLoiser. She went over to him, and I felt him raise his head up like he was listening to her. And he nodded his head yes. I then asked him, his first name was Tom, and he said no. Then I asked him if his first name was Robert. He shook his head yes. I was shocked, so I asked her again, what was his birthday, 8/6/56? And when she asked him, he got up, and I felt like they were talking. I told her to tell him she's my guardian angel. Then he started to answer my questions with yes or no. I asked him if Donna and Uncle Tom were there with him. He put his head low and nodded yes. Then I asked, did Donna pass from natural causes? He nodded his head no. I asked, did she do this to herself? He nodded his head yes. But he said my Uncle Tom was an accident. He didn't mean for that to happen. Thing has been crazy lately, and with Bianca there, I also feel someone else now. Jennifer younger than Bianca. They were best friends at one time. Bianca said they were killed in a car accident. We tried finding information online, but it wasn't able to. I recently bought a thermal camera, and I'm hoping to prove I'm not crazy and prove that this is actually happening. I tried once, didn't have any luck catching anything, but I'm going to try again this Sunday. First off, whatever you're going through is crazy. This is insane. You need to get a priest in there, or at least an investigator, or a shaman, or a medium or psychic, someone that knows more about this and can help you get rid of this demon. To be honest, I do feel like, don't take everything that Bianca says as fact, because she could be that spirit, the evil spirit that you feel, and she's just masking and acting like she's someone else. But that is up to you. Just keep that in mind, that menaceful spirits do lie to get what they want, especially demons or low vibration spirits. I would say and recommend you could tell them to leave. Tell them they're not welcome in your house, and use sage to sage your house. You can just Google that, how to do it, and you should get the correct way. But you gotta do it with that you want these spirits gone with intention. Because it seems like you're enjoying it a little bit, and you're welcoming whatever this is to stay. And you shouldn't. And I am not talking about Bianca either. I'm talking about the other ones. You spreading your arms open and letting them come lay down, you need to stop that completely. And you need to say out loud that they are not welcome to be there, and they need to leave your house in the name of Jesus. That is my advice. I hope it helps, and good luck to you. And if it does not help, you really need to call someone to come in and try to cleanse your house the correct way and see what's in there, mainly. That's the end of the story. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will see y'all again soon. But until then, remember it's scary out there. Please like and subscribe.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross